Good morning. So I just wanted to pop on here to chat briefly about grief. Grief is a pretty heavy topic and it's often associated with death. When we think of the grieving process, we think of someone that's really like mourning the passing of a loved one. And in reality, we are grieving all the time. And I think that's something that's starting to come to light a bit more with the current landscape of our lives right now with the pandemic. So really collectively we're grieving. We're grieving the lifestyle that we used to know. We're grieving the social interactions that were just something we didn't even think about. We're grieving maybe loss of jobs or changing jobs. If you've had friendships change or the relationships with loved ones really shift during this pandemic, then there could be the loss of that relationship for you and grieving that loss. And then there's also the physical loss, like the death of a loved one or the death of a dog or a cat or a bunny or whatever animal you might own. So it's very real. Grief is not something that just is something you navigate when things are like crazy different. Grief is literally all the time when we're navigating really any kind of shift or change. And it's important that we bring awareness and language to that because there's a lot of emotion that accompanies grief. So you might feel 200 feelings in like 2 minutes. That's normal. You might want to escape and numb out whatever you're feeling because you don't want to feel that like crappy or sad or heavy anymore. That's normal. You might want a lot of alone time and feel that you're really retreating away from groups of people. That's also normal. And you may not really know how to process or shift through what you're feeling. You might feel overwhelmed. You might wonder if something's wrong with you, if you're broken. It depends on the circumstance. It depends on the shift that you're navigating. I'm speaking for myself from a place of navigating the passing of a parent. My mom passed very quickly in 2019, very unexpectedly as well. So for me, I've had a very intimate relationship with the dying process and with grief over the past going on 3 years now. So as well as the global shifts with the pandemic and all of the changes it's brought up. So feeling whatever you're feeling right now is normal. And I just want to bring that to light because I think some of the the variation of emotions and feeling super happy and awesome 1 minute and then feeling like the world is ending and you're in like this deep dark black hole, or maybe you just feel extreme rage and anger. That is all part of it. And with grief, it's not linear. So you might think, oh, amazing. In however many weeks, I'll be here and feeling like my normal self again. And you might be, and that's awesome. You might also not be, and that's totally normal. So it's giving ourselves compassion, it's giving ourselves grace and space to recognize that we need to allow ourselves to kind of go through the motions, go with the flow, process what we're feeling, because what happens, and which is really common, when we don't have language to really understand what we're experiencing, when we're not talking about grief, we're not talking about the expansiveness of grief, like how it really can get into every single part of our life and the all-encompassing quality of it at times. It's easy for us to want to suppress it. It's easy for us to say we're fine and to just keep like moving along. And the problem with that is we then move all of that stress into the body, into the tissues, and it gets stored and stuck. And then that can come out in ways where we're really reactive and projecting our pain that isn't processed on other situations that trigger some sort of response with grief, often because a boundary is crossed. So it's just being mindful of that. And there are a lot of different tools that can be used, practices that can be brought into your life and part of your routine to help you process some of the intensity of the emotions that might be going on with your body and with your mind right now. So I just wanted to share a few here. And now that I've spoken a little bit more to what grief is and how it really does affect and impact all of us. And that doesn't mean we're broken or unlovable or any of those things. It's just a reality of life. So it's learning how to live with it and move forward, honoring ourselves and what we're feeling in this process of living. So the first thing that I always use as a practice and as a tool is speaking up. So finding support where you feel heard and you feel supported. And this can be connecting with a therapist and a counselor, or this can be just connecting with a friend that is able to hold space for you. It's just finding someone that you're able to share what you're feeling and help release some of that from your body versus staying silent and imploding. So number one, speak up. Number two is moving your body. So the body is the quickest way to connect in and notice how we're feeling. And it's one of the easiest ways to move and transform energy that we're feeling. So this can be going for a walk. It can be going for a run. You might be hiking, you might bike, you might dance, you might want to stomp around your house for a bit. You might want to shake out your body for a bit. You may want to do some yoga. Like, it really varies based on what your needs are and what you're needing to move in that moment. So, for example, after my mom died, there were days that I was like spin, TRX, hit classes, push, push, push. I need to move this energy. There was a lot of anger coming up. There was a lot of really explosive and like fast pushing me forward sort of momentum and energy that had to get released. So for me, cardio was huge. The other side of that was also that I needed the space to just crumble. And so for me, yoga at that point became a place where I would take child's pose and just cry. And that was what I needed too. I needed the fast movement. I needed the slow being held and just like being in it as well. So notice both, honor both. We get in this mentality where it's like, we'll just get back to life, push ahead. And you can, and also that will not help you in the grieving process if your body is actually really asking you to just take a second and breathe and get grounded and feel, allow that wave of emotion to come up and out. Again, it doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean you're too much to handle. It means you're honoring your body to release stress, which is paramount to your well-being. After that, I would suggest meditating and journaling. And these practices are powerful in the standpoint of helping us learn to observe our thoughts. So instead of automatically getting pulled into that spiral and then just going down that black hole, we can start to recognize, okay, what's going on in my brain right now? Do I want to actually engage with where this thought process is going, or do I want to allow it to just move through? And then I'll keep going on in this direction. So it gives us the ability to have space and choice before being caught in reactive cycles. And with journaling, it's another outlet of meditation. So you can sit and connect with your breath and just observe your body as a meditation for a few minutes. And then you might want to just write down, like, allow your brain to empty on that piece of paper and judgment-free. Just let out whatever's there. And again, that's another way to release stress and all this mental chatter, mental clutter that then gets suppressed into the body. Another part is hydrating. And this might sound random, but when we're dealing with a lot of stress, we get a lot of stagnation in the body. So it's really important to drink water to keep yourself hydrated. You can have lemon water, cucumber water. It doesn't matter what you need to put in the water to drink it if you don't love water as it is. You may want hot water only, you may want cold water, whatever. But keeping yourself hydrated is huge because we use up a lot more energy than we recognize when we're stressed, as well as the grieving process. It's an exhausting process. There's a lot going on in the back of our mind while we're trying to just focus on life as well. And with that, there's you might be crying all the time. You might not be, but you need the hydration to just help move energy and bring more, what's the word I'm thinking of? You're just trying to bring more life, like freshness into the body. So water is a great way to do that, especially like if you are crying, you're getting dehydrated. So you need to replenish. So staying hydrated, drinking water is key. Another one is eating. It's really easy to not want to eat, lose our appetite, and just, again, go on this like stress response of just get stuff done. And in reality, we're adding more stress to the system by not taking 5 minutes to eat. So taking time to eat, but not in a way that's like fast food 24/7. I'm meaning nutrient rich foods. So fruits, vegetables, whole grains, you might want protein, but allowing yourself to eat as in a way that's really supporting your health and your immunity. So looking at immune boosting, antioxidant supportive foods, because again, that helps your overall health and well-being. That helps feeling better in the mind and in the body, and they both kind of influence each other. So trying to welcome in more of those whole foods can also really, really help with feeling more grounded as you're moving through heavy, intense emotions. And then the other piece to all of this is rest. And that's always a tricky one because sometimes sleep can become super challenging. I know from my own experience, that was the hardest one for me. I would be exhausted during the day, and then at night, once my mom had passed, sleep was really hard. And then I would try to nap during the day, and it was just really tricky. So finding ways to rest, and that can be laying down for 10 minutes. That can be doing legs up the wall for 5 minutes. That can be maybe doing a restorative yoga practice as rest. That might be watching a random show on TV or Netflix. That might be sitting on a park bench in the sunshine for 15 minutes. It might be sleeping longer. Like, it's really personal to you, but it's allowing yourself the time where you're not really it's where you're not like as active with the mind and the body and what you're doing. So you're able to really chill out and allow your body to just kind of take a step back, because it is a lot. So hopefully all this information is helpful to you. I'm sorry that I've spoken this long. You can fast forward and see what resonates the most, but I just wanted you to maybe have a little bit more of an understanding of grief and the grieving process, and how it might be kind of popping its head up in your life, and you may not even realize that it's grief. So you might be wondering why you're just feeling so many different things all the time, or feeling ungrounded. And so I just wanted to help bring some language to that, so that you're able to then start taking care of yourself in a way that's super supportive, and helping you move forward through whatever you're feeling, versus numbing out, shutting down, and getting stuck in it, which is really, really painful and heavy. So yeah, if you have questions, please connect with me. I'm not a therapist by any means. at all. This is me just sharing from personal experience of what I've navigated in life right now. But I'm happy to share other information I have and tools that I have if there's more that you're looking for here. And yeah, I just hope you have a really nice rest of the day, and that we each continue to practice self-care and forgiveness and compassion and patience, and also those same qualities with the community around us, because we're all navigating our own little scenario right now, and kindness and patience go a really long way. So yeah, thanks so much for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.